Hey, I'm Bubba.
And I'm John.
We use our questionable and sometimes traumatic childhood experiences to hopefully become better parents.
We might not succeed,
But listen,
they're fine.
I'll go on a kick where I'm like, I'm not going to swear anymore. I'm not going to yell at the kids. I'm going to modulate my anger.
Sure.
And you do really good, but all your rage goes to your wife.
Yeah.
So like Jenna will double, if I'm like Mr. Coolhead, she'll turn into a fucking rageaholic.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, usually like tonight, for instance, I was trying to make grilled cheeses and both these ding dongs are like, I want to help you. And I'm like, fuck. So I was like, hey. And I gave them different chores, and Maggie's was to grate cheese. And so she grated this pile of nice cheese. I'm not doing some craft shit on a, you know.
No, you're a fancy man.
So I have her grating all these fine cheeses. And then I say, after we're done with that, I'll have you pull some of this rotisserie chicken to feed the dog. And I set up a dog bowl on the counter. I come back in. She stuffed all this nice cheese that, by the way, she's never grated cheese. It took her 25 minutes to do like a brick of cheese.
This was an excursion. This was the whole thing.
Yeah, this is taking forever. She wanted rubber gloves, so I had to find her like nurse gloves somewhere. You know, it went on and on. I come in the room. She stuffed all that cheese in the dog's bowl. A used dog's bowl with like dog slobber.
And she's eating the rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, and so I go, like one would, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? And then Jenna's, this whole time, my wife is like in the shower doing her. I'm like, I got everything handled. You go to yoga class. I'll pick up the kids. I'll go to Trader Joe's. I'll clean up the kitchen and I'll make dinner and clean everything up. You know, give you some quiet time. So maybe we can have some quiet time later. Yeah. I high five myself. But then we sit down for dinner and Jenna comes out in her jammy jams, all relaxed. And the kids are being little, see you next Tuesdays. And so she's getting real irritated. And the thing that puts her over the edge is Henry's doing a little craft and he doesn't get it right. And he goes, oh, Jesus, what the fuck?
Oh, yikes.
Which she didn't know that your boy just said, what the fuck, in front of the kids.
Yeah.
5 minutes before.
Yeah.
So she's like, Henry, get to your room. Blah, blah, blah. And I kind of look at her like, damn, bitch, you are out of control. You know,
her reaction to it was not aligned with the transgression.
But also, like, my kids are looking at me like, you just said it. And I'm like, you horrible children, get out of here.
You threw them under the bus.
I said, where did you hear that?
Yeah, I can't believe.
The internet.
They're never going to trust you again.
YouTube.
You don't have their back.
No. I fessed up. I go, he said he heard it from me.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's I learned it from watching you.
But then, I'm sure Jenna's not surprised. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding the words here.
Yeah.
You have always cursed in front of your children.
That's true.
This has been a difference between you and I.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging it.
Fuck, you're not.
I mean, I am a little bit.
Yeah.
No, but it's been, I don't judge it that much. It's a language. I don't believe in magical words, right? But,
and you don't believe in a magical God either.
I don't believe in any magic. But you have chosen that it's okay to curse in front of your children. And I'm okay with the rule that there are different rules for adults and children. Just because you're allowed to curse doesn't mean they're allowed to curse.
I can smoke in the house.
Sure.
Because I'm an adult.
You're allowed to drink. You can smoke. You can curse. Right? They cannot.
Yeah.
They are children. But
Showtime late at nights for dad. Do they still do that?
Is Showtime even around anymore?
That's a good question.
Probably
if they are, we're looking for sponsors.
Oh, here we go with the sponsors again.
Skinamax.
Gobbled up by
You don't say that? Listen.
No, we don't. No, I mean, and it's fine. Whatever, choose your method of speaking with your children.
Yeah.
The reason we have done that has been very conscious because Catherine and I both swore a lot before we had kids.
You did?
We did.
I don't even remember you swearing.
We did. I mean, maybe not as much as you, but a lot.
Yeah.
And we had conversations about it where we just said, you know what? We don't want our kids speaking that way when we're not around, and just
we want to be there for
whatever way we speak around them, they're going to pick that up. And we don't want them speaking that way because it doesn't jive well. I don't like it when I hear little kids cursing.
Yeah.
You know, it seems, I'm like, what are you, trashy ass family? You go walking around dropping F-bombs. You're 7 years old.
I think it's kind of funny. I like it. I saw a 5-year-old the other day, and I walked by with my wife, and he pointed at her. He goes, "Damn, shorty, what's that thing do?" And I said, I gave him a little fist bump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife was like, "Excuse me." I was like, "Lay off."
He gets it.
Lay off.
I bet he has some cool parents.
It's respectful.
Yeah.
It's respectful. You should be, it's a compliment.
So yeah, absolutely. So that's how your week's been. Is the kids
well,
been a pain in the ass?
Look, we had a conversation over dinner of like New Year's resolutions. Don't want to timestamp this. It could be any time of the year.
Who knows? You can have a New Year's resolution in February.
It's Christmas in July. Of just like what do you want to focus on? And I was like, Dad wants to focus on not saying shit motherfucker so much. And watching the swears. And Maggie said she's going to work on not being so mean to her brother. And then my wife said she's going to also work on the swears and saying thank you more. And then Henry said, I'm going to work on getting more beads from people.
I love
and
Henry.
then he said, and then I'll thank them for it.
I love Henry so much.
This dumbass kid, dude, he came home from his after school like with some fucking beads in there in a jar. He's like, look at my beads. He doesn't do anything with these beads.
Isn't that funny? They pick
He's
up
a
these
hoarder.
little patterns. He'll be into beads for 2 weeks, and then beads will be out of fashion immediately. You'll have a jar of beads sitting somewhere collecting dust that he will not care about at all.
I hope so.
But for these 2 weeks, these will be the most important things to him.
It is. I come home, he goes, did you get me my beads? I go, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, the beads I asked you for. I wanted holiday beads that were gold. And I'm like, what do you want me to go to the bead store? And he's like, yeah. So I did go to the bead store.
That's a real store?
Well, I went to Michael's.
Okay.
You know, the craft store?
Yeah.
Take my money. You know what I mean?
Do you go to Hobby Lobby?
Dude, I can't be trusted there. Frankly, I don't really go there because a while back, they didn't hire my mom in Michigan for a job.
Hobby Lobby?
Hobby Lobby.
It's not the religious or political statements and stands they've taken. You don't care about that.
No. Well,
Yeah.
I was like, my mom will fit right in. She talks about Jesus to anybody.
Yeah.
She'll talk to you and be like, you need Jesus.
You guys are all pro-life. You don't
Dude,
care.
she should get in there as like, this is the lady.
Sure.
And they didn't hire her because she doesn't have any work experience. But still.
She's pro-life. Come on,
She's
let her in.
pro-life. So when I go in there, I'm like, you know what? I'm not spending my money here.
Sure.
Because you didn't support our family when we needed it.
Exactly.
You're just supporting these unborn
So you've been
babies.
going to Michael's picking up beads.
Looking for beads. They don't, it's not enough for him. And then he's like asking for jars for the beads. But you're right. I mean, he goes into these phases like a psychopath.
No, this is totally
It's almost
normal.
like you. It's like you with your gear.
How dare
where
you?
he's like, it's tiny key time. And now he's collecting tiny keys.
Sure.
I'm vacuuming them up. They're fucking breaking my Dyson.
I sympathize with you. I am not a collector though. I don't collect things at all. I do have gear for hobbies and stuff that I'm into, sports or things, but I don't collect things. I've never been a collector.
You collected a lot of hearts in a jar.
Well, our kids have done this. I was going to say our kids do these same things. I think it's just, maybe it's a little boy thing. Maybe it's all little kid thing. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it's a little boy. This kid's collecting girl beads, but we'll see how it shakes out.
Our kids have gone through this with rocks and with sticks, both.
Yeah, we're still on sticks. I got sticks. We're about to hit some heavy rain here. We got sticks on the porch I can't throw out because they were like, him and Maggie, it was best friend day the other day. We've talked about that, where they don't want to kill each other and they're best friends.
Isn't that crazy?
They picked up all these sticks at the beach. I was not there. They came back and they said, Dad, you're not going to believe all these sticks we got for you to build us a dollhouse.
Oh, there's a purpose for them.
Like a shelter.
At least your children have a purpose for their sticks.
Yeah.
I come home from work and there'll just be sticks on the front porch.
Yeah.
And I'll go and talk to the kids and they'll say, oh, look, did you see the stick I got? And they show me the stick. And they're, look how good of a stick this is. It's such a good stick. And it's unclear to me what makes it a good stick.
Yeah.
It's something to do with the size, the shape, the length, the number of little branches.
I do like sticks.
Yeah.
But it's like, where are we going to put them all?
Speaking of, I learned it from watching you. I think they get this from their mother. I'm gonna blame Catherine on this
sticks?
one. Whenever we go on walks, she'll see just sticks on the ground, random tree fallings.
Yeah.
She'll grab them for the fire pit at home because she goes, "Oh, this is good kindling." And so I think they've learned it from her.
I love that she has like the old world still in her. You know,
She grew up in the hills, and you know, a good stick was very valuable.
this will be a good soup rock.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. I will pick up sticks on a hike because I'll be like, this is a good walking stick.
Good walking stick, yeah.
But then there is some ancient shit that comes into me, and I don't know if you get this when you do your night walks, but I'll get a stick, and there's something in me that I know I don't need it, but I'll regretfully like toss the stick after the hike because I'll be like, well, I could have used that to fend off the critters.
Yeah, a bear.
Yeah, or like, get away. Yeah.
Coyote.
And I do have actually outside here of the studio, we have our fire pit, and there are some good looking sticks out there.
Yeah, probably picked up from the neighborhood.
Yeah, picked up on the hikes, picked up at the beach, but there is like a sadness now when I burn these sticks. To think what could have been. To think the shelter we could have made.
Could have saved your family on a cold winter's night.
But I got all these fucking rocks too. We have the nice, rocks.
Yeah, the rocks. Yeah.
And then come the other rocks, the beach rocks, the river rocks, and they start coming in, and now it's Rock City out there.
Our kids have tins in their room filled with rocks.
Yeah.
And I'll go in and they say, "Where's my rock tin?" And they show me, and they want to show me the rocks they've collected. And they're not gems. These are just random ass rocks.
John, when we take off, I think we need to make a separate Google Doc where we just keep a running list of swag gear and for the shop, because I think "Where's My Rock Tin" is a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
For 4-year-old boys.
Yeah, where's my rock?
Where's my rock
tin?
Where's my rock tin?
Yeah, and have you seen this stick?
Yeah. We're going to do a transcript of this.
Yeah, we're going to do a transcript of this and pull all the good one-liners for T-shirts and
coffee mugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we might just start selling tins, rock tins.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
I like rock tin. It's a specific sound. I know the sound of a child's rock tin.
Yeah. It's very like crappy pop metal.
Yeah.
Right? It's
just kind of rattling around.
Very thin.
Like a shitty percussive instrument.
Yeah. It's like an old Band-Aid box or something. I don't even know where they find these things.
It's funny when they do get in the rock phase, because there's a learning curve where you're like, well, what am I going to put these in? A Tupperware, a bowl. It's like you got the glass stuff. You can't put it in glass or a jar. And then you do kind of look around as if you're a World War II veteran looking for a medic kit. And you're like, if I just had a tin for these rocks with a lid,
And what happens is just something comes in the house, some item that came in this tin, and a child will find it. They will seek it out and they go, "This is perfect for my rocks."
You know what else we need to make in the shop? The fictitious.
We have a real shop.
We're getting to do a shop. Now we're not just doing printed gear. Now we're just not drop shipping, okay?
Okay.
We're going to craft stuff.
Okay.
We'll go to my cousin in Michigan
Bespoke.
who crafts stuff. I think the kids need, much like a umbrella stand, we need a stick bucket.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And it'll be kind of cylindrical, yay high. Yeah, like a high coffee table, low dining.
Sure.
About 18 inches wide. Put whatever their name's on. You got it. Stick bucket.
Sure.
It's going to house all their special sticks.
What distinguishes this from an umbrella stand?
It's taller.
Okay.
It's not ceramic.
Okay.
Most of these are ceramic, and it's not plastic.
No, this needs to be metal.
It needs to be metal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put up with the elements. It can be outside.
Yeah, and I would say wood if it's finished and it's sealed, but you're going to get some drippings in there. There does need to be a hole at the bottom, similar to an umbrella stand.
Yeah, I think metal, if possible.
Yeah, I think we should keep it all metal, frankly.
Yeah. Okay.
Pressed metal, aluminum, tin.
We're going to talk about fabrication for the rest of this show.
How do you feel about copper? How are you?
I'm good. There was something that happened this week that was a little bit of a bummer. So there's a music venue in the Orange County area called Chain Reaction. It's a kind of a punk rock and heavy metal. It's a very small kind of local venue where lots of bands have played for many years. It's been open for decades. Yeah. And it was a venue that when I was playing in bands, my bands played there a lot.
List your bands for us.
The bands. Well, the band that played there was two different bands. One was called Out of Reach, and one was called Cry Havoc.
Wow.
My bands were never famous. They were never big, but we had a great time, and we played some great shows at this venue. And we opened up for some, bigger bands, and it was one of those really cool local spots where all the kids would go there. It was shows would sell out all the time. It was an all ages venue, which was a big deal.
Oh yeah. I used to go to all ages.
Yeah,
venue. That was a shit when you were in high school.
Because when you're in the scene, it's kind of this funny thing with that type of music that really appeals to children, right? When I say children, I mean teenagers, right? I'm not talking, 9-year-olds.
You just say kids, you sound like a pedophile.
Yeah, exactly. But this music appeals to a younger demographic. And when you're in a band and you go to play shows, most venues, at least back then, this was, the early 2000s, were 21 and over.
Yeah.
Right?
18 and over, 21 and over.
Because they want to, for anybody who's interested, why? It's because most of these venues make their money off booze, selling booze.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And most cities will not give you beer and wine and liquor license if you were going to have an all ages music venue.
Oh.
Right? So they go, no, you can be all ages. We're not giving you a beer and wine and liquor license, one or the other.
I never thought about that.
So when it's all ages, the venue's basically saying, we're not going to sell alcohol.
So they can't have alcohol, but just those nights be all ages? It's all or nothing, like...
I mean, I'm not a venue operator.
So let's get it. You know what? We just got into fabrication. Let's talk about city ordinances.
Yeah. But generally,
and see who falls asleep.
In my experience, not really. It's either they sell booze or they don't. And if they don't, it's an all ages venue. Maybe things have changed recently, but it was a really big deal back then, at least.
Yeah.
So when you found good all ages venues, kids would love it, and there'd be cool bands that would come through, and it wasn't too expensive. This was before Ticketmaster fucking monopolized everything.
I mean, I used to go. I'd get an older guy to buy us alcohol at the 7-Eleven.
Sure. Yeah.
One of the older guys in the band would have sex with an underage girl.
Oh, okay.
And he'd go to jail.
Sure.
It was fun.
Yeah. So different scene than I grew up in.
No, the one we went to was like, it was a kind of a church venue downtown.
Yeah, you did.
Listen,
this
John,
adds up.
They had a secular night.
Of course they did.
Where the local bands could play.
Where DC Talk played.
You think DC Talk would play that small of a venue, dude? They were at the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids. Get a life.
They were big time.
They were big time. By the way, first place I ever crowd surfed. DC Talk's Jesus Freak. Don't you spit take on me, John. Don't you fucking spit take on me.
I can't believe you would admit this.
Crowd surfing to Jesus Freak.
Oh, man, that's
what
embarrassing.
What would people tell you if I said... Incidentally...
You should be embarrassed right now.
Incidentally, the black guy from DC Talk just got outed on Me Tooing.
Of course he did.
For the boys.
Of course he did.
For the gentry. Turns out he was a closet case.
So... My point was, I don't know where we're going with this.
I talked to the DC Talk guy on I got a film scholarship after high school at like a Christian film camp.
Yeah.
And the part of the prize was a speakerphone call with the black guy from DC Talk.
God damn, you're a dork.
Dude, to think that I could have got him to have unprotected sex with me.
So while you were seeing DC Talk, I was seeing Avenged Sevenfold and Rise Against and Southern California punk rock bands.
Aren't those guys in Long Beach?
Who?
The Avenged Sevenfold?
They might be. I'm actually not sure.
I think I know one of the guys.
They're from SoCal. But they're specifically in SoCal, I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches here how many great bands have come out of here and all the venues that were around. I guess my point was this was a very cool venue that was really important to kids of that time.
And it burned down?
And but it's still been around this whole time, but they just closed this past week. They had their final show. I guess it's just, I mean, I can speculate, but it seems to be that it just wasn't lucrative anymore, right? The scene has changed. It's from my conversations with other people that have other venues, what it seemed like is a lot of bands can't play those smaller venues anymore because of the monopolies with Live Nation and with Ticketmaster.
What?
Because if they're within a certain mile radius of a venue that is licensed or owned by Ticketmaster or Live Nation that those bands play at, they can't play within a certain mile radius of another venue.
That's fucked up.
And in SoCal, it's like, throw a fucking rock, you'll hit a Live Nation or Ticketmaster venue, right?
Dude, we got to destroy those people unless they want to sponsor our show.
Yeah.
But that is fucked up.
So, I mean, even there's another really cool venue here in Long Beach called Alex's Bar. I would say this place I'm talking about, Chain Reaction, is very similar to that, right?
Yeah, a lot of dirtbags.
That's not what I was going to say.
People.
I was going to say these venues that have a huge cultural significance to young people in the area. It's these cool bands, these really, interesting rooms that are all ages. They're inexpensive shows, and the bands you're into come through and play there. And these places are closing, and it's kind of a bummer. And so anyway, it's been on, blowing up on my Instagram all week, obviously.
Did you go to the last show or no?
I didn't, because I didn't know the
That's
band.
why they're closing.
No,
John.
no.
That's why they're closing.
I totally would have, but the band that was playing,
they probably would have kicked you out. They would have been like, "Get out of here, Unc.
I've aged out
chopped.
of it. Yeah, I've aged out
chopped,
of it.
Unc."
Yeah.
And you'd be like, "Listen, I was here when Black Flag, whatever the things they did."
I don't even understand the words you said other than Black Flag.
Oh, never mind. It's internet slang.
It's kid lingo.
Yeah. What's up, fellow kids?
No, I mean, to be in reality, I have aged out of these venues. It wouldn't make sense for me to go to some of these venues anymore.
Unless if you were a sex offender.
Exactly.
Really.
Right. But it is a bummer. So it's been a bit of a bummer week that closed. So yeah, but it does make me just think that it is important when possible to support these venues. And I do go to Alex's Bar when they have cool bands that I like. And I think
if DC Talk's ever there, let me know though. I'll come check it out.
How about Jars of Clay?
JOC, not so much.
No, more DC Talk guy.
Chevelle, let me know.
Okay.
MXPX, holla at your boy.
MXPX, all right.
Skillet.
You're getting too deep for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to Carmen?
No.
You ever hear of him?
No.
Dude. We're going to have to come back to Carmen.
We're going to have to cut all this.
We're going to have to come back to Carmen, dude.
Brandon, this is so embarrassing. You listened to the worst music growing up.
It is not embarrassing. It's shameful.
All right, let's take a break.
Michael Tate. That's the name of the lead singer, one of the singers of DC Talk, who I thought was one of the coolest guys. But I guess they said that about Diddy.
We're still talking about DC Talk?
Well, we don't have to.
How many people watching this know who DC Talk is, do you think?
John, I get the numbers.
Okay.
We mostly have conservative Christian Midwestern following here.
Okay.
And huge numbers on DC Talk.
What does DC stand for in DC Talk?
You ready for this?
It's going to be something stupid.
Or really cool. It stands for Decent Christian Talk.
Oh, God.
Because, John, we're tired of the rapping. I want that new thing.
Decent Christian Talk.
New Thing, by the way, was one of their songs.
Of course it was. THANG.
Of course. They, some call them interlopers. They started in the rap game.
Yeah, so
but
for
ended
those
up in the rock game.
For those of us who didn't grow up when the Christian shitty music scene, please explain who DC Talk is.
This has now become a DC Talk re-listen pod.
Yeah, it's called DC Talk. I mean, it writes itself.
If you grew up like me and you weren't allowed to listen to secular music.
You weren't cool like me.
Yeah, if you weren't a bad boy like John, who, by the way, you were.
My first album.
You did all the things my parents warned me about.
The first album I purchased.
Yeah.
Was Appetite for Destruction from Guns N' Roses. I saved up my allowance to buy it.
First album I stole, The Lion King, as you know. The Lion King.
So I would just like to say, you were raised Christian and you stole your first album. I was raised secular, saved my allowance, and bought my first album.
Grass is always greener. Listen, there's a lot of hypocrites in Christianity. I am one.
Okay.
You weren't allowed to listen to outside music. So, starting in the 1960s and 70s, the Christian movement was like, we're sick of these hymns. We're sick of this. We want to get some rock and roll.
Sure.
So the music had to change with the times. Yeah. It was very controversial. And in the 80s, as the kids were moving towards that rap crap, some bands came up and they said, we can rap for Jesus. The most popular of which was DC Talk.
Sure, it's not cringy at all when you listen to it now.
No, it's very, I listen to it fondly now. I had a couple DC Talk cassettes. Under my bed, I had a MC Hammer.
Yeah, he's definitely secular.
He was bad.
Yeah.
Them pants, his deck was
so
swinging.
it was, but then DC Talk, they went rock instead of rap, correct?
Yeah, they kind of did a hybrid. It wasn't like new metal, but they saw the writing on the wall from Alanis Morissette.
Sure.
They knew this new alternative music was going to be where it's at. So then they kind of shifted, and they came out with this album, Jesus Freak, which I believe was one of the highest selling Christian rock albums of that spring.
Of that spring.
No, I think it was all time. I mean, it was a phenomenon within church culture.
Sure. The reason I'm letting you talk about this so much is because I'm hopeful.
Because they're here?
I'm hopeful we will never mention DC Talk again on this show.
Well, I thought we were going to get into the youth groups and the arcade fire of it all.
Sure. But let's
the Acquire the Fire, it was called, where we would go to the...
Get it all out of your system. Get it all out. Because I never want to revisit this.
We'd take a school bus from the local church to the big, Lions Stadium or whatever it was in Michigan, and then Carmen would be there with DC Talk.
What is Carmen?
Carmen Liquorobe, dude. He was kind of the Tom.
Oh, it's a man.
Well, he was. He died of liver cancer, but my mom had a big crush on him. He was kind of Donny Osmond meets Tom Jones, and he would also interlope within genres.
Okay.
So he would have like a country western song, but he had this huge budget of music videos. So you know how like bands would have like a VHS of like all the Radiohead music videos?
Yeah.
There was like the Carmen music video DVD, and it had all of his hits on it.
Yeah. It always amazes me how much
he
money...
had the song Addicted to Jesus, dude.
How much money these Christian artists get, right? Because there's so much money in it.
Dude, there's so much.
In the movie industry as well, those like Left Behind movies, right?
Well, they still have them. Like my mom for a Christmas gift, she sent us money to go see the movie David, which is funded by Angel Studios, which is like a... Whatever. I was like,
this popped up. I was watching last night a Joe Strummer documentary from the Clash. The singer from the Clash.
Did he play at your venue?
No. Joe Strummer, sadly passed away in 2002. But
was it drug related?
Joe, I mean, no,
because he should have been addicted to Jesus.
No, it wasn't drug related, but Joe Strummer was excellent. Anyway, that's not what this is about. But as I was watching this documentary, a commercial for that movie came up.
Yeah, it's an animated.
Yeah, and I thought,
story of
the
David.
algorithm is not working. If I'm watching a documentary on Joe Strummer and you're throwing up a Christian animated movie from Angel Studios that just came out,
was this on your computer?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I think they're just placing money everywhere. They got a lot of money.
They must be, because if they're putting it there, that means they're putting it everywhere.
Yeah, that faith-based content. They made a lot of money off that. That sex trafficking action movie that was based. Remember, there's a big controversy about that. This guy who was from Utah, I think, and he was flying to South America to bust up these human trafficking rings, and he had like a nonprofit, and I think James Caviezel or somebody played him. He was kind of a public figure in the first Trump administration, and he got Me Too'd.
Oh, interesting.
Of like having these sexual relationships with women who were working at the nonprofit that was built to like prevent human trafficking. But it was also like kind of the stories he was telling wasn't really true, that he would just like go rogue kind of Rambo style and drop into like some village in South or Central America and like kick in the door and be like, give me all them kids and like fucking fly out on a helicopter.
Sure.
And it was like, okay, most of this is not true.
It's all staged, yeah.
Or it's not necessarily staged, but like it didn't really happen, or it didn't happen the way he said. Or like the disruptive things he did actually made things worse. I didn't really get into it, but the guy kind of disappeared. We should show note this guy name. I could look it up after the break. But Angel Studio had a movie about this guy, and they've made some faith-based content, including the David movie. Which, look, there's money to be made. There's an audience for them. Sure. A lot of these people in the church, they hate libtard Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right? We got to make movies for them. I grew up on these movies.
When I see these previews...
Where the Red Fern Grows.
Yeah.
The Butterfinger Gang.
I have...
Anne of Green Gables.
A visceral, knee-jerk hatred when I see these commercials and like immediately
Why?
like something inside me goes, I hate this so much.
Why?
I can feel it. It's so funny. You can even tell before. Same thing with Christian rock, right? If you hear it within 30 seconds, my spidey sense goes, I don't have to hear Jesus. I don't have to hear anything. And I can just go, this is some Christian shit, isn't it? I can fucking tell.
How do you know?
This is some Christian shit, and it's always right.
You're always right. You're saying, at those venues that we used to go to that were all ages, there would be a little, what do they call it? Like a get? What do they call it when the ask? They have an ask where like we'd hang at the Christian that was non-Christian night to see the local bands, and they would be like, yeah, all welcome. But then the ask would come where I'd even be like smoking ciggies outside.
Sure.
I'd be smoking a Camel, and this guy would come up.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, oh man, you're funny. Like, what you see in this band? Cool. Yeah, like, hang, where you go to school? And I'm like, I don't go to school. I'm homeschooled.
I'm really cool.
But he's like, and then eventually it's like, we do have a youth group on Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you want to come.
That's how they get you.
But it's kind of a, inverted grooming, which is what I've been doing with you, John. I've been friends with you for 20 years, and I'm about to turn this into a Bible study. I'm finally getting the ask in, John.
I'm trying to convert you to atheism.
I did atheism.
Come on back. We'll have you anytime.
I'm good, dude. I'm for the higher power right now.
God.
You're going to go to hell and you die. You just wait, John, when you ask me for a ride to the hospital, when you break another bone, and you could be like, I need Jesus. And be like, psh, too late.
If I have to watch these faith-based movies or listen to Christian rock, it's not worth it.
Dude, whatever. For our movie club for the whole next year, it's just, there's no singular director. It's just a series of faith-based movies from my childhood.
This is my idea of hell. This is hell.
Dude, speaking of hell, 6, 7.
What about it?
Have you been living in this hell? Are your kids doing this?
I mean, yeah, Grandpa, welcome to 3 months ago.
Dude, what's up with this margarita business?
Yeah. Where have you been?
Dude,
especially, this is
Lil Wayne talented?
I mean, you are really time-stamping this because people are going to go, yeah, what year did you record this, man?
Do you think the show Roseanne is too crass for American families?
Yes. The 6, 7 thing is fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Kids love it. I find it interesting that it's taken over so much. There's been a lot of talk about it. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It means everything. It just
Wait, does it mean everything?
No, it's some sort of expression. I don't think it really means anything other than it means something to the kids that are saying it. It's exciting to them. It's funny to them, right? So if you're talking about that as the meaning, right, then yeah it means something.
It makes all the kids laugh.
Yeah, it makes them laugh.
Did we have anything like that when we were children where we just shout something out?
I don't know.
Besides, gay!
Yeah. Just inappropriate.
I feel like there was something when we were little that was kind of a non sequitur.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just Bart Simpson type stuff. Like I remember
eat
kids,
my shorts kind of thing.
Eat my shorts. There was kind of Bart Simpson shit.
But
I remember
that stuff, I think that's the thing is a lot of the things that we said had some kind of meaning. So eat my shorts was crass, right? It was, you were saying, eat my underwear basically, right? Or like kind of like a sane or a sanitized version of kind of fuck off, basically.
Yeah.
That's not what 6, 7 means. It doesn't mean anything.
It's brain rot.
Yeah, it's Italian brain rot.
Italian?
That's what they call it, right?
Why do they call it Italian brain rot?
You haven't heard about all this stuff?
No.
Okay, so once again, Grandpa Ogborn.
Listen, we were just talking about, I had to fill you in on the 90s. This huge swath of culture you
There's
missed.
all these, they call it Italian brain rot, where it's these memes, where it's these not animated, but these kind of cartoon AI-generated images of different things. And so examples really illustrate it the best, where there's something called, ballerina cappuccina, and it looks like a cappuccino cup mixed with a ballerina. And it's just not really Italian, but those words kind of sound a little bit Italian, right? There's chimpanzini, bananini. It's like a chimp and a banana.
But it's just AI art props.
AI art, yeah, and the kids love it. And then that's where this 6, 7 stuff stemmed out of, right?
Okay.
It's Italian, and now it's just brain rot. But yeah, it's just these memes, and it kind of means nothing, but all the kids know it, and they all love it and think it's hilarious.
I'm just going to jump here and say this is probably our worst episode.
Yeah, you think so? Where I'm explaining.
It's just been us explaining stuff to each other.
Yeah. All right. So what I think we should do is let's take a break.
Do you think those Menendez boys killed their parents?
I'm not going to explain the Menendez brothers to you. One of the topics that we wanted to talk about that he mentioned was, I'm going to read it here. What career did you want growing up and what your kid seems interested in now? Presumably career-wise for your child.
Well, I want to be a Christian rapper. That's not a joke.
God.
And I still do.
This is the motif for this episode. It's the recurring.
I don't know. You go first.
So I wanted various careers growing up. When I was really young, I think I wanted to be a doctor before I knew what a doctor even was. And
you're like, they touch butts?
What
Gross.
That entailed. I think it was one of those, this is an important job. When kids want to be a fireman or a construction worker.
Yeah.
I go, I want to be a doctor, right? It seemed important, right?
A spaceman.
And then that fell out of favor pretty quick before when I was still in elementary school at some point. And I think I was probably pretty rudderless as far as what career I wanted. I remember adults asking me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I had no idea. I gave a lot of, I don't know, I'm not sure, or just whatever came to mind that day, right?
You weren't like, I want to model.
Oh, just model?
Yeah,
just regular model. No, I didn't have a lot of ambitions when I was really young. Once I, got into music in high school, then things definitely got a lot more clarity on what I wanted to do. But when I was really young, no, I didn't have a huge, and as far as what my kids want to do now, we can talk about that in a second, but I'm curious, what did you want when you were growing up? Did you really want to be a Christian rapper?
I did, John.
Oh, God.
I have photos to prove it.
I was hoping that was a joke.
It's not, dude. And yeah, before the woke left gets me, I did wear a do-rag. Okay?
I've seen a picture of this.
I did wear a do-rag regularly. And those in that community approved of it.
Mm-hmm.
And by that community, I mean the Christian summer camp church.
They were okay with it?
Mostly Black Baptist kids in me. They were like, no, I guess it's okay.
Sure.
But then when they heard me drop bars, dude, bars about JC, they were like, you could be the next DC.
I hope there are no recordings of this. Do you have any recordings of you rapping?
There's got to be some.
There's got to be, right?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't look. I didn't say the N-word in these songs or anything, John. I was like Eminem, dude.
That would have been
I
more.
was with the culture.
It would have been more forgivable to me if you said the N-word than what you probably were doing, which was rapping about Jesus Christ.
Dude, he's so many blessings.
Oh, man.
So many blessings.
So that's what you wanted to be growing up. When did you grow out of that?
Oh, it's probably the stabbing. All those kids stabbed me at summer camp.
Sure.
When I went to sleep, it was kind of like Full Metal Jacket. I fell asleep, and all the Southern Baptist kids just started beating me with it.
Sure. Sounds accurate.
It was deserved.
Yeah, definitely. I'm guessing you grew out of this around 14.
34, but yeah, close. I think I wanted to be a writer when I was like, once my hair got to where I could do a little flip.
Yeah, I think you probably turned into a real artsy-fartsy theater, movie making
theater came later because I didn't do like theater with a capital T. I thought all those, and I still do, all those kids in high school were dorks.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw Good Will Hunting. Not sure if you heard of it.
I'm familiar.
And I was like, and then the lore of Good Will Hunting of like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, which I don't even know if what's true and what's not at this point. They drove around back and forth from the West Coast to the East Coast, working on a draft of this at a Denny's, chain smoking, So I would, we hear, the kids lingo, performative male, it's like
I'm not familiar with that term.
Performative male is kind of a TikTok funny thing of like guys who are like to be seen reading books in coffee shops.
Oh, okay.
And they'll be feminist books, but it's like dudes who are basically trying to get poos, but they're like looking like they're feminists or allies, but they're like, very, feminine oriented and like, I love women, this and that, but they end up just kind of being like sexist pigs, but they do everything they can to like look like they're soft and intellectual. I was doing this in like 8th grade. I was an OG performative male.
I think the episode of this podcast that we're recording right now is just you and I explaining things to each other. The whole episode. John and Brandon explain things to each other.
You haven't heard of felching? Well, you need to look into the Olivia Nosy
and it's all things
Robert
that the audience
F. Kennedy affair.
It's probably infuriating to listen to us because the audience probably knows all of these things, and they're just like,
or they're like,
listen to these two
literally
dumbasses.
Don't care.
Yeah,
please stop.
Stop explaining shit.
Why
to each
don't
other.
you have a creative producer to go over the set list of things you should talk about?
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, I imagine you being very James Vanderbeek in Dawson's Creek. Wanted to be a real filmmaker, but you were such a dork still.
Oh yeah. I was not attractive like him.
Okay.
It was more like Screech plain James Vanderbeek.
Okay, got it. But okay, that's interesting.
But I was working on like little films.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a cross between like Steven Soderbergh, Good Will Hunting-esque, and then like CKY2K Jackass, like little sketch videos with a camera kind of thing that I was cutting together on like an Avid editor, which was like the flatbed, like right after the flatbed editors.
That's cool. I mean, this was in high school. So yeah, I mean, at that point, that's, I mean, our kids are obviously much younger than that now.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, when I was in high school, I was very much playing in bands and recording things on 4-track recorders and pursuing music that way.
But as a child, if we're talking about a child,
when we're a child,
it was rapper or, again, not a joke, I thought I was going to be a pastor.
Okay.
Which is not uncommon. I mean, for that I am pseudo and funny business adjacent, comics like Chappelle, like people compare him to like a pastor or like he gives a sermon. Just like a lot of singers, like Katy Perry started like singing in church. Like, I think it's a thing of like, it's a way of saying like, oh, you liked an audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the first outlet you have for that.
Yeah, because I grew up Apostolic Pentecostal. We had pretty much no social life outside of church.
Sure.
So, I could mimic the pastors. I could mimic the way of speaking, which a lot of them like spirit-filled churches, praise churches where they spoke in tongues. It was very much like influenced by like black Southern Baptist preachers that would be like, come on, can I get an amen in the name of Jesus? Hallelujah. And they would get the crowd would be like, yeah. And and I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. This is, or they'd get a big laugh. Even like we go to a not crazy church right now and like the pastor can get some hot jokes. And I'm like, oh yeah, I think even the regular church we go to now, if this pastor wasn't a pastor at this regular church, I'm like, oh, this guy could do stand-up.
Yeah, they're mini celebrity, right?
Yeah.
So when you're a child and you are going to church and you're going to these environments with pastors, right? This is a celebrity. People look up to them. They're funny. They're performing. People are clapping for them. I could see why you would idealize that and be very interested in that.
Yeah, I remember like leaving, and the pastor would be out front when people leave the church on the porch and shaking hands. And I'd say something like, I knew he misquoted the book of James or something. And he'd be like, oh, all right, Bubba, you got that. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh my God, he looked at me. He had a lot of power. Including the Catholic Church.
Okay.
What about you, bad boy? What were you doing, John, when you were waving that flag at the racetrack? Were you like, I'm just going to be a flag boy?
No. So
you said, I have dreams of rock and roll.
I am remembering, like I said, when I was very young and I said I wanted to be a doctor, that was just, I never really wanted to be a doctor, I don't think. But it was something easy to say. But I do remember my mom actually reminded me of this not too long ago. When I was very young, I think I was always kind of music focused, where I would make instruments and I would play with other kids in the neighborhood when I was very young.
You'd make instruments?
Yeah, because we didn't have any instruments. So I would literally get, laundry baskets and I would tie ropes and strings around them and pretend it was a guitar. Yeah, like a little.
But I thought you were probably making shit with wires and stuff in it, like
not till
Ray
later.
Kurzweil.
No, not till later.
Building pianos.
When I was young, no, I mean it was little makeshift guitars and stuff.
Dude, I love that you're getting on me about being a hillbilly. Here you are living in fucking Mayberry.
Yeah, no, I was
sitting on the porch. I'll take a string I put on the laundry basket. We will put up on Mama's clothesline, and we have a little jug we blow on. They call Old Blue.
Little jug band.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So
was your mom all like, John, give it up. You're going to work at the Budweiser plant like your old man.
Said, I'm going to take this guitar and get out of this town.
Your life is very Bruce Springsteen.
A little bit. So, and then
Dad worked down at the Bud plant, bringing a sixer home on the road. What was your town here?
Palmdale.
Getting on the Palmdale, where the sheriff is beating his wife, and John's walking with the boys.
I'm going to put together a chord progression for this.
Mom's got the Marlboro 100s watching Price is Right. Dad's falling asleep on the couch again.
You seem to have a pretty good handle on it.
With the broken dreams.
So, yeah, and then, I mean, when I was in high school, then, it was meeting other kids, having real instruments, and, 4-track recorders,
Dude, I remember 4-tracks.
Yeah, 4-tracks. So for all you kids out there, we didn't have computers to record on.
Yeah.
And so we literally had these tape deck recorders.
No, explain it to me like I don't know, so we'll continue
Let's
the
continue
theme
the
of
explanation.
explaining.
So, Brandon, there used to be these things called cassette tapes.
It's a what? How do you spell it? Yeah.
C-A-S-S.
I remember parties, we'd have a sleepover, and there'd be, I was always jealous of, there are these kids, Brian Johnson, Ian Davis, Jacob Schomburg, and they all played different instruments.
Yeah.
And there'd be a slumber party, and it's 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and they would be recording music on the 4-track.
Yeah.
And I'd always be like, "Can I try to sing?" And they're like, "No." And I was always jealous that they had a little kid rock band that sounded so good to me, even though I'm sure it was crap.
Oh, I still have all our 4-track recordings from these bands I was in high school. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, no wonder you're all heartbroken about that venue closing. Are you just in there listening to the cassette tape,
we would have,
crying,
your
wife finds you?
Playing Ramones covers and stuff. It's great. But I mean, you would have 4 tracks to work with, and you would record as 3 instruments, and then you'd move all those to 1 track, and then you had 3 tracks to work with. So you record as many instruments as you can with these little recorders, right? And then you'd have these cassette tapes, and then you'd make copies of them on your dad's stereo that had a double cassette deck.
Yeah, my dad had a double cassette
and
deck.
You would then make copies of it so you could hand them out to people.
Yeah, my dad would be like, "You taped over that Rush Limbaugh episode that I recorded from the radio?" Have you seen this? More explanatory. That I found it so funny. Maybe I sent you of we have a podcast, and I think maybe I sent you this of people are saying there's too many podcasts now. What happened to all the bands?
Yeah.
That white guys need to just start bands instead of podcasts.
I'm in. Let's do it.
But I'm like, you already started a band. John, you and I, we had a band together. We played one show at a coffee shop.
No, you've mentioned this before. We never had a band. You and I played one open mic at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And I found out about this because your wife asked me, "Did you and Brandon used to have a band?"
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "No, we did not." He said, she told me he wants to get your band back together for his 40th birthday. I said, "What fucking band are you talking
I should
about?"
have never said that because then my dad died.
Yeah.
And my 40th birthday was spent at my dad's funeral and then at Indian Casino that I was trapped at in the middle of Michigan.
Because you lied.
Because I lied. In my head, we had a band. I had band names.
No, we practiced, we rehearsed, I think maybe once.
We only did covers, I think.
And then we did 2 songs at a coffee house in Santa Barbara.
What were the songs?
Living on a Prayer.
Yep.
And Under Pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get the guitars.
Yeah.
I have
The reason I say it wasn't a band is because I was in actual bands, and this was not a band.
Well, I made a contract. I had paperwork. I was the lead singer and the business manager of this band.
You really put the cart before the horse
here.
here.
I really did.
Okay.
I booked his shows up and down the West Coast.
So Now, your kids, do you have any? My kids both have chosen careers already.
Tell me them.
Okay. So our 9-year-old has decided, and he is dead serious about it, that he wants to be a lawyer.
I believe him.
It's because both of his parents are lawyers, not me. I'm not his biological father.
What?
I know. You're shocked.
Yeah.
But his mother and his father are both lawyers, and all he wants to do is argue all the time. And I think what's happened is that this has been reinforced in him. Everyone goes, oh my God, you just want to argue and debate. You should be a lawyer.
You should be a lawyer.
And he's taken that as a point of pride, I think, to be like, oh, I should be a lawyer. So
I should.
Yeah. So
I'm going to be an accident attorney.
He has said he wants to be a lawyer. And yeah, definitely believe it. Our 6-year-old was also saying that at first, but it was just
no.
It was just because he wanted to be,
like his brother. Yeah.
But what
he said, I want to be a corrections officer.
What he has decided now is he wants to be a stand-up comedian.
Oh, I didn't know he was old enough to know what that is.
Yeah, he loves being silly and performing in front of people. Right? He just has so much fun with it. He just wants to make people laugh. And I think somebody, maybe me, I'm not sure actually, told him at some point, people make money doing this as a job. They get in front of people, make people laugh. They tell funny stories.
It's called being a nursing home tech.
And he is now bought into it where he goes, yeah, I want to be a stand-up comedian.
I thought about it because when we were traveling, we were getting on the airline and we split up the kids because they're so unmanageable on long flights.
Yeah.
So Jenna will be up with one, I'll be up with the other.
Oh, divide and conquer. That's the way to do it.
It was great.
Yeah.
And I went on with Maggie, and we do the early boarding thing because you can early board with small families. And some people are like, well, what are the rules? It's like they want you to because they want your kids sat, pads out, ready to go, so you're not getting them all.
I think that's supposed to be for, very young, like babies.
Well, I tell them my kids are special needs.
Got it. Okay.
And then I just got kind of physically manhandle Henry a little bit more because he's bobbing and weaving, so they think that there's something wrong with him.
Sure.
So I'll go, oh, he's special.
They don't want to call you out.
Yeah, who's gonna? It's like when you see a dog in the grocery store, you're gonna be like, is this really?
Yeah. Are you gonna be the person?
You're gonna show me the paperwork? Yeah. What's your trauma? You walked fine with the handicap sticker on your car.
I think if you have kids under 10, they should let you board early.
I think they should.
Yeah.
Really. Because then you're not like, oh, can you move? And the kids are like, I want a cracker. And the plane is full. It's like, you're settled. The kids are settled. People just sit down. It's great.
It's better for everyone if you board first and just trust me. These kids are a pain in the ass. Let me get in here, get them set up. It will be better for all of us.
The point with that story was, as we were walking on, I'm making some hot jokes.
Sure.
And Maggie's in front of me. And so when I go on, I don't know, I'm saying stuff to the passengers. I go, we're sorry in advance. We're sorry in advance.
Sure.
You can have her if you want. You should see the other one, whatever. These people are laughing. They're just throwaway, not that funny jokes, but we get
But you're
seated.
buttering them up.
Butter them up. And Maggie goes, how do you do that? I go, what? She goes, you just get everybody to look at you and you make everybody laugh.
Sure.
I said, you got to drop out of college.
You said after this, the ask is coming.
The ask is coming.
I'm going to start
Do you know
trying
about
to
Jesus?
missionary to these passengers.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a great suggestion for stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
We need it now more than ever.
How about your kids? What do you think they want to do?
Maggie, I think, wants the approval of everybody.
Okay.
The thing that makes me a little sad is like one of Jenna's friends, she sent some, I can't remember if it wasn't a holiday card. It was some kind of yearly, the kids, yearly update. How maybe it's more Midwestern. Instead of a card, it'll be a written page or two that's like.
How do you feel about that?
I love them.
Okay.
I used to get them all the time. I feel like people do them less.
I like them too. I like when people do them.
It's like, John went back to school. He's got his MBA and Connor's 15 now and he's starting in this and that. And like,
we don't do it. And I think it's great.
Yeah.
When people
Dad's done with the prostate cancer radiation. It just gives you what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And she's got 2 boys and both of them, it was like they want to be YouTubers. And they're young, they're under 10.
Okay.
And I was just like, ugh. And Maggie is already, we've talked about this. I hate when we say we've talked about this, but getting her away from YouTube and the self-produced content because she's seen girls who are her age, whose parents are making, and look, I make content about my kids on the internet, but they're not sketches. They're just fly on the wall or videos of them that I roast them or talk about parenting. I'm not putting them in sketches that are like, let's put on, these K-pop Demon Hunter outfits and let's do these silly, 20-minute, 30-minute YouTube videos.
Yeah,
she's watching these and seeing these girls who are her age with makeup on and lighting and cute outfits that are, it's kind of weird. It's uncomfortable.
I think it's one of those things. If you know, if you've seen this stuff on YouTube, you understand. I understand exactly what you're talking about, which is very different than what they call, sharenting, right?
What's that?
Like sharing and parenting. You're sharenting.
Explain.
Let me explain to you what sharenting is. So it's a compound
episode.
word.
Yeah.
No, you get the idea. You're sharing your parenting experience, right?
Yeah.
This is basically a sharenting podcast.
Okay.
Which is very different than producing sketches and turning your children into actors and to self-produce programming.
Yeah. It's like whatever. If the kids are getting paid, I don't know, but it's just uncomfortable.
It is.
I want it to come from one of these conglomerates, whoever buys Warner Brothers, Netflix, that's approved by committee. And not just like this weird thing where I'm like, are these children being human trafficked? What country is this from?
Yeah.
These sketch scenes make no sense. It just seems like silly slop. It's not even Nickelodeon, children's cartoons that are a little obtuse. They're weird. And I see the glaze on the kids' faces, and I'm just like, I don't want her to do that. So I'm just going to avoid entertainment as much as possible with her. Henry's like, I want to work at a garbage truck factory. Like, he wants to make garbage trucks. So I'm just kind of like, sure, whatever you want to do.
A noble career.
I want him, because of the way the world is going, is to have a trade.
Okay.
I would like him to have a trade, not a job like you have that's, I think, is going to go the way of the buffalo.
Yeah, white collar work is definitely... I mean, this is a whole spinoff, but this is no revelation. It's seriously at risk. Most white collar, work, sitting in front of a computer, right, type work is, by the time our kids are of working age, it's going to be gone. A lot of it. I mean, some of it will still exist, obviously, but I think a lot of it's going to be gone. So it's not something to start aspiring towards now when you have very young kids. We need to
get them some kind of job that will be pandemic proof,
AI proof.
Something where they'll be able to transition their job into fixing some part at the data center that will be the size of the state.
Sure.
That he can fix the wing nuts or whatever. They
manual physical work that cannot be outsourced to artificial intelligence or to robots, right? Yeah. So non-repetitive manual work, right?
Yeah.
Or I think creative endeavors as well. That's why I do think, I'm sure people will disagree, but I think art, when that can be painting, that can be music, that can be stand-up comedy, that can be any kind of storytelling, movies, TV. I don't think that stuff's going to go away.
I don't think they're going to make it go away.
I think there's a lot to be said for, AI generated, animated programming, things like that. I think humans are going to resist that. I think they
already are.
I don't think we want AI generated music. I
was worried about this 6 months ago, and just seeing the slop that's made and the protesting already with restaurants. I think I sent you a clip of this of some restaurants not wanting to pay the license fees for playing Living on a Prayer, so they'll have an AI version of it. Yeah. And it sounds like shit. And all the art, even the commercials they're doing where they're using AI prompts, look like shit. I hope Hollywood fights back more, but I hope that a lot of this stuff, people are just going to say, no, thanks. I don't want it.
I may be an idealist, or I'm with you, or an optimist. I think people care where their art comes from.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Right. And I think other people do too. I give humanity more credit than some people, where I have no desire to read an AI generated book. I don't care what AI has to tell me in a novel. Yeah. Right. Same thing with a painting. I have no desire to hang some AI generated art. It doesn't mean anything to me. Well, those are photographs.
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean,
I made this.
Yeah. I have no desire to see that. It doesn't speak to any human experience that I care about. So why do I want to consume this?
the first thing, and we'll have to wrap this segment shortly because we're about to. But the first thing that if I'm interested in a piece of art or music or something that I hear, the first thing I do, if I see something that I'm moved by, the first thing I do is look up who made it and read their story.
Yeah.
It's all of it for me.
It matters.
It matters.
It matters.
It's like, oh, that's how they came up with this idea. They wrote this here. This is the experience. They were in this internment camp, or they were in this, genocide, or they were there for this terror attack or whatever. It doesn't have to be a violent thing, but they went to the school and were taught by this person, or it was from their divorce, or they lost their kid or something. I'm like, oh my God, that's why it's so good, or whatever. Even if it's a comedy, I'm like, how did they write this? And I figure out how it was born from the real experience, or how an idea was hatched together. You're going to kill me over this, but I recently watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I've never seen it all the way. I saw little pieces.
Yes. I know we discussed this before. I know you hate saying that, but I was shocked you hadn't watched it.
But to now see it with the perspective of like, oh, it's a John Hughes movie. And then to connect it to John Hughes's childhood and like his dad and all these things, like, let alone that it's a really good comedy. Even, now it's like in the canon and blah, 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 blah. But even having seen Casino all the way through as an adult now, and then to be able to put it into a historical context, I just can't imagine. I think we're going to resist not AI all the way.
Of course
but
not.
AI produced art of any kind is going to be like, no thanks. Now, maybe it can be a tool.
Sure.
Certainly, even in this, there was some elements of AI, I'm sure, that were
and for
involved.
people listening, Brandon's pointing to...
I'm pointing to our poster art.
Yeah, which has like an AI-generated background, right, with colors or something.
It probably wasn't even AI-generated, but I'm sure that without saying this is AI...
Yes.
But anytime on this was made on Canva, by the way.
Yeah.
But anytime I use their AI, they are like, these new AI tools for whatever, add an AI background. It's fucked up. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It'll be like a cow print or something.
But it will get
what
better.
Are you doing?
It will get better and better. And I do understand that for certain very repetitive tasks in the different industries, AI will be used as a tool, as you're saying.
Yeah, and I even do use it as a writer where I'll be like, here's all my notes. Can you organize them?
Sure.
Whatever. But to be like, write me this scene. It's garbage.
Yeah.
It always is.
The storytelling of it, the actual artistic parts of these things that we care about as humans, I don't think that's going to go away. I hope not.
Mushroom cloud.
Yeah, famous last words, right? All right, let's take a break.
I think we're still cool. I think we can still rock and roll, John. I think we can get the band back together.
And we're back.
We're back.
All right, we're going to do recommendations.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
As you know, I didn't go to a real school. I went to Bible school.
Yes. And by Bible school, you mean your parents' basement.
That's right. A wet, soggy, black molded basement. And I learned the finer points of math at a Christian summer camp.
Got it.
I do like history. And I did go to public school pretty much starting at high school. And I had Mr. Ropp and I had Mr. Pullman. Cap Pullman. I don't know if he's still alive. Shout out. Fruitport High School. He really made me interested in history, and he lectured kind of like a college professor. And I would even argue that the reason that I wanted to be a writer is because of him, and probably a nonfiction writer because of him, because he could tell the story of history, story of World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, as kind of a story, as this big lecture. And I even tried to do his class again. But I don't know. There's a huge gap in my knowledge of world history, pretty much outside of the Americas in the 19th century. And I've always wanted to learn like the classics and the formations of civilization, but your boy ain't got time to go back to school.
Yeah.
My wonderful sister, Rebecca, who lives in Portugal now, and I talk shit about her for doing it.
You think she's listening to this?
She is.
Okay.
Careful. Use a bitch, first off. Okay. No.
Your sister's the best. I love your sister. She's the best.
We miss her. We wish her well.
We do.
Friend of the show. She sent me this video of this Chinese professor named XUEQIN, and I think that's how you say it. And he was doing this predictive history of like what's going to happen, in the next 20 to 30 years with Iran, Iraq, Israel, Russia, China, U.S. power. And this guy actually years ago predicted Trump's second election, and he predicted the bombing of Iran by Israel, just based on world events.
Okay.
And so this little video he sent was quite fascinating to me. And I was like, as we spoke, I got to look this guy up. And he's a Chinese-American professor, Chinese-Canadian professor, who originally started teaching in like middle school. He got a degree at Yale College, not law school, but works on kind of his whole thing is like global citizenship and knowledge. And he's like a very good lecturer.
Okay.
And he has,
is he still a professor?
It's hard to tell.
Okay.
He's on a little fringe. I try to look him up to make sure that I'm not promoting some far right or far left person, because that has happened before.
Okay.
Where I'm like, oh, I've listened to these like really good biblical lectures by this guy, Professor Jordan Peterson, and he really gave these like storytelling elements of the Bible that I'm now able to look at in kind of a Joseph Campbellian, Jungian perspective. And then people are like, he's anti-feminist and transphobic. And I'm like, huh?
What's that?
And then I see like, oh, this whole other thing, know. So I looked up this guy. Doesn't seem to be anything so far. A lot of people are telling me he's very short. But I think he's still set in Beijing. So shout out to the Chinese Communist Party. We are looking for sponsors.
We're like, that's where we're going, to the Chinese Communist Party for sponsors.
They're gonna be running everything anyhow, John. You might as well get on the bus.
Really?
No, he. So I looked him up, and he has this entire lecture series. They're about an hour each. He's done like 12 of them on predictive history, and he has a whole series of secret society ones, which does sound fringy. But there's like 67 videos on the history of the world. And I started putting these on as I would a podcast. And they're so fascinating. And he's just this incredibly kind and intelligent lecturer. He speaks very good English. He'll be like, does everybody get where I'm at? Any questions? Does everybody understand this? So I'm now filling this void of knowledge that I wanted about like the formations of civilization through this guy. And I just think he's a really good lecturer. And now that, I'm sure your algorithm is going to bring him up now, but since I started listening to him, and my sister and I will communicate more leaving voice memos on the WhatsApp because of the 8-hour time difference.
Sure.
So it's kind of nice because I'll leave a 5-minute one, and then a couple of days will go by and she'll be like, I took mushrooms and I'm making, decorations for the house while I'm a little high. But we can ping each other back and forth. And now this guy's starting to show up everywhere that I'm looking, when I'm not even looking, he pops up. But I bring him up because I just feel like we are in a slop factory, and to be able to take the time to really, even just having them in the background, I feel like I learned so much. But instead of just listening to a daily podcast of like doom and gloom news, or to go, I got to get it. Am I going to do an audio book? But to just be like, I listened to 3 hours of this lecture while I was doing all these other tasks and projects, and I've learned so much more about, Roman history, or the formations of, hunter-gatherer versus agriculture. I mean, things that, certainly have been discussed with books like Sapiens. But getting into, it's just where we're at in the world, and my existential concerns about the world have faded away somewhat as I've come to understand power and government inclinations and world history, if that makes sense. I feel less like I'm helpless and more like a participant, and less fear because I understand those systems more, I guess I should say. I don't know if I'm phrasing that right.
No,
you know what I mean?
I do for sure.
It's almost like you're afraid of drowning, but I'm learning everything there is to know about the ocean, so I'm less afraid of sharks.
I like that. I think one of the things that you mentioned that struck me is I've been thinking about this a lot the past couple weeks too, which is what is my media consumption diet kind of look like?
Yeah.
And there's so many great podcasts now, right? I mean, I listen to a ton of them. Listen to,
including
the daily,
ours.
Yeah, of course ours, top of the
It's
list.
in the top.
But, and it can be different podcasts, but there's a lot of, daily or weekly podcasts that are very news focused that I listen to. It could be The Daily, Ezra Klein, Pivot. There's all these, right? But just everything that's kind of going on in current events right now is a lot of it's pretty shitty. A lot of it's pretty scary. And I find myself definitely starting to think I have to be cognizant of my diet, of things that I consume. And I need to listen to or watch slower paced things, as well as staying on top of current events and what's happening in the world, right?
To that note, and I don't want to cut you off, but I have a thought I don't want to let go of, which is to distance yourself from the current news cycle could be viewed as you're putting your head in the sand and you don't want to face however you believe the government is working in your favor or against it currently. And I know you're a big Trump voter, so I don't want to, no. But these Zhang Xueping lectures are actually empowering me in a way against that and giving me, I don't want to say weapons or tools or look at it like that, but it's almost like I've entered this other state of personhood where I'm like, in the desert, but like filling up my spirit with all this knowledge that is then going to prepare me to re-enter the news cycle.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
But I'm not like, I had to learn all what's going on with the stock market and AI and, human rights violations and this crazy thing he said. And can you believe this now? Oh my God, it's so demoralizing. But to be like, zoom out, this has happened before, this Roman emperor, this, this happened in, 50,000 years ago with this tribe doing this. And you're kind of like, oh, okay. I get it a little more now.
I'm with you. And I think those are fair points. I am not that worried, at least for you and I, maybe some people. I'm not worried about us putting our head in the sand. I wish I could put my head in the sand. It's all around us all the time, right? What's going on. And when I say a diet, it doesn't mean cut the stuff out completely. I'm still going to listen to Ezra Klein. I'm still going to listen to these things, right? But it can't only be those things, right?
Yeah.
It has to be other things that are slow learning, zooming out, as you mentioned,
like
right?
Stephen Miller's wife has a great podcast,
Great.
It's fun.
No, I think that's great. And so how are you consuming content from this person? Is this on YouTube? Where are you?
No, he calls me.
Oh, yeah. So
no, it's on YouTube.
He leaves you WhatsApp
it's on
messages.
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have the premium, where you can just listen to the audio, but I'll just, I was setting the studio up. I was doing all kinds of holiday stuff and was back here for hours and listening to it, and it was incredibly pleasurable.
That's great. I love it, man. That's fantastic.
I wasn't like, I got to go back, and it was like I absorbed what I did. I appreciated it, and you and I are audiobook people. We love when the voice is nice. Great voice, patient. Didn't be like, I need to put this on 2x speed or anything like that.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Right? Love it. Great recommendation.
How about you?
Okay, so I'm going to use my phone because I need to read some things for this recommendation. So one of the things I've done on this show is recommend a lot of audiobooks. And we've discussed that my son, my 6-year-old, listens to audiobooks when he goes to bed at night.
What a fucking nerd. Keep going.
So he will listen to an audiobook for an hour while he lays in bed before we pull it at 8 p.m., right? And
Jane Eyre, Chapter 5.
So and since he does, an hour every night, I have had to curate a lot of audiobooks for him because what is he going to listen to? He doesn't know. He's not fucking getting the New York Times bestseller list to know what to listen to, right? So, you plow through the Harry Potter books or something, right? Some of the big stuff.
Are you like, is it like the scene in Good Will Hunting where like Will's looking at the bookshelf and he's like, you read all these?
Yeah.
You read all these? People's History of the United States? That'll fucking knock you on your
some
ass.
Howard Zinn, yeah. No. So anyway, let me get through this. I thought, what would be helpful, because I have found this very helpful, is going through even though this will date us a little bit, it's end of year, depending on when you're listening to this. I went through...
It's Chinese New Year.
And I looked through all the audiobooks that my son's listened to over this past year, and I've curated a few of them that I want to recommend, since this is a sharenting podcast.
Oh.
Right? So I won't spend a ton of time on each one, but I just wanted to give kind of a quick once-over of the highlights of the audiobooks.
He listened to 98 audiobooks this year.
Yeah, there's probably a lot. If he had a Wrapped, it'd be quite a few. An hour a night. So I'm going to go through these. So the first one is the Wonder book series. So this is a collection of different books. The author is R.J. Palacio. This one is interesting. So I did take some notes here. I'm going to kind of go through these. I would say they're emotional books. It's mainly about kids navigating school when they feel or look different. So the main character is somebody who looks very different from everybody else.
Oh, they turned this into a movie.
I haven't seen the movie, but I think they did.
It's called Man Without a Face.
No. I think they are turning the Wonder book into a movie. So there are a series of books in this. I think it's maybe 4 or 5 books in the series. They're all great, but the best one is the first one. It's called Wonder. The next one's called A Rover Story by Jasmine Warga. It's Warga. This is about, this was a fun book. It's about a Mars rover that basically gets sentience and is trying to figure out its life and its world. Highly recommend. It's only one book. It's not a series. It's about 5.5 hours long.
Are there pictures?
Pictures of what?
In the book.
It's audiobooks.
Oh. That makes sense.
That would be a movie.
It's like my mom when I'll be like, oh, you should really watch, Life is Beautiful. It won the Oscar.
Sure.
She goes, that's one of them foreign movies. I go, yeah. She goes, you got to read it.
Mm-hmm.
I go, well,
yeah. You're like, there's no pictures? It's an audiobook, Brandon. All right. So
sometimes I talk to you and I feel like I've got dementia and I'm on my deathbed.
Should I explain how audiobooks work? Okay. So this next book series, this is a 7-book series. This is a much more fun series. It's called Timmy Failure. The author is Stephen Pastis. These are about 2.5 hours per book, so they're pretty short books. It's won a number of different awards. It's got a good narrator. But this is a very humorous book series. So my note was...
Are you going to tell us some jokes from it?
No. The takeaway is notes that I put were the books are fast, silly, funny, similar to Diary of a Wimpy Kid in humor and pace. So for any parents that have read those or their kids have.
Never heard of it.
Okay. You will eventually.
My kids are just doing Bible stories. So.
Zoe and Sassafras, author Asia Citro. These are really good. This is a more science and creature focused. It's really, really fun. It's about this little girl that kind of wants to be a scientist. There's all these magical creatures. Very fun.
Sounds too woke for me.
Okay.
You lost me at Woman in Science.
All right. I'm going to give 2 more. I have so many.
Yeah, don't.
The Last Kids on Earth. So Max Brawler is the writer. These are post-apocalypse, but kids have basically taken over.
Jesus Christ, John. Can't you fucking cat in the hat or something?
Zombies and monsters have taken over, and it's basically a series of middle schoolers and teenagers that are kind of running the show now. Very fun, very fast-paced. Last one. This is a big one. I was going to think if I was going to do this one.
The Story of David by Angel Studio.
I would never.
I'll take over.
All right, you take over. I'm going to take a drink of tea.
Here, let me read this. The one and only Catherine Applegate, this one?
Mm-mm.
Lemony Snicket?
Yes. So a series
Debbie Does Dallas. What the fuck? John, you gotta... This is a family show.
A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. These have been turned into TV shows and movies.
Yeah, one had Jim Carrey in it, and then the other had Doogie Howser.
The audiobooks are fantastic. They're narrated by Tim Curry.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're really good. Let me see how many books are actually in this series. 13 books.
Dude, I love me some Tim Curry.
Very fun. They are dark, but they're very funny, and it threads the needle of dark and funny very well.
Oh. Well, great.
Oh, hey guys, I'm back.
Oh, in your name, amen, Father God, thank you.
What was that?
No, nothing.
Okay, great.
I was just
All right.
talking.
So sorry about that.
Mm.
Those are my book recommendations. There's a lot of other great ones, but I will say, for any parents that do audiobooks for their kids, it takes time to curate. Like, what do I want my kids listening to? What's fun? What's interesting? I don't want them listening to trash, right? And so you do have to kind of curate some stuff. So I'm hoping that this recommendation will hopefully be a time saver for some parents.
Well, thank you so much, John. I'm never going to let my children learn to read or listen.
Listen to audiobooks.
I'm not going to teach them to listen either.
Okay, got it.
Would you say, like, get them, do you think it's stupid, the idea because I was going to get a DVD player this coming year, but I was like, what if I get these kids CD players? Do you think that's stupid? They still have CDs at the library, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't have any love for CDs. Maybe they make a comeback. I love vinyl, but I don't really have any nostalgia for CDs. Maybe it's just
What's your
generation.
kid listen to the audiobook on?
We have
iPad?
We have two devices. We have something called a Yodo player, which is a screen-free speaker thing for kids.
Oh, that's cool.
But it doesn't do Audible books, so it's only through their app. So I'll do that sometimes, but usually what I do...
They call that. Do you want me to explain what gatekeeping is?
Please do. It's a walled garden. No, so I will use my iPad, and I mean, he doesn't know the passcode or anything, but I'll put it in the room. And
as far as you know, dude, you got some smart kids.
I have to change it regularly.
Mine are stupid.
No, I do have to change it because they're always looking over your shoulder trying to get it.
They are.
Yeah, little shits. So yeah, and so we'll put it in there and then just lock the screen and then he just hears the audio from it.
All right. Well, listen, what a great time. I pray you find your way.
Me.
R.I.P. Chain Reaction.
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
Our prayers go out to Tim Curry. He's overcoming illness.
Oh, I was unaware.
Well, it was in the New York Times. I would have thought you would have watched it or read about it. Shout out to
DC Talk.
Whatever God's plan is with Michael Tate and his sexual assault allegations. Do your will.
Just apropos of nothing. Where did this come from?
Well, he was accused of some lecherous behavior. So shout out to the victims.
Okay, got it.
Of DC Talk.
Got it. Okay. Anything else you want to leave the audience with this week?
Shout out to XUEQIN.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think we're good. Trying to think if there was anything else we needed to wrap up here. Do you want to spell the professor's name?
Oh, yeah.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, you got to hold on, because I got to get my phone.
Okay, you go get your phone. I'm going to preach to the crowd now.
Okay.
To the audience. I'm not really going to do that, guys. I would never do that.
Why don't you preach to your atheist God?
Yeah. Go watch Joe Strummer, The Future is Unwritten. Great documentary on Joe Strummer. Came out in 2012. Highly recommend. A lot of great interviews in there and some really cool behind-the-scenes footage of the Clash. So, you should do that instead of listening to Brandon's sermon.
All right, it's JING, JING.
Okay.
And then XUEQIN is XUEQIN. We'll put it in the show notes.
Really glad you spelled that. I never would have gotten it.
Oh, shout out to the Chinese Communist Party. We're family. You know what I mean? Listen, They're Fine is produced and edited by Wyatt Gray. Original music by John Ahern. John's Instagram is @JohnAhernMusic. And you can find my inappropriate parenting on Instagram @Bubba Ogborn. You can also find our recommendations linked in the show notes. If you have feedback or topic suggestions, our show email is listenthey'refine@gmail.com. And our TikTok and Instagram handles are @ListenThey'rFine. If you made it this far without calling Child Protective Services on us, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps other questionable parents find us. Share the chaos, tell a friend, tell your therapist, tell anyone who needs to feel better about their own parenting choices. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode.